Lisa.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Captain Swan podcast number 84, our review podcast. I'm Michelle, to the end of the world or time on Tumblr, and these are the people with me today.
Hi, I'm Daniela, and I'm Princess Swan Love on Tumblr.
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Hi, I'm Mai, and I'm Allison Swan on Tumblr.
Hi, I'm Rams. I'm Aloha Forever on Tumblr.
Hi, I'm Ro, and I am Ginny Chingston Handshot Read It First on Tumblr.
Hi, I'm Shannon. I'm Mind Your Helm on Tumblr.
Okay, so Lisa will be here later, we hope, if Google Hangout cooperates.
It's been a naughty boy today.
Yes, it's being evil. We have a fair few questions, but we're gonna
And
start
another complaint.
with this very general one. And please, when I ask this, do not get into specifics. Just rate this finale against the others, like on a 1 through 5 scale, or however
Okay.
you want to do it.
Are
And
we rating the episode? Or are we rating the finale with other finales?
well, the question is from Abby's girl, and she wants to know, how do you rate this season's finale against previous one's finale?
Oh, okay.
Alright.
So,
I'll tell Mera my starts because I have to have time to think about it.
okay,
You
so
think I don't have to think about it?
No, just you first.
okay, can we all agree that the season 3 finale is the best?
Well,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
obvious. Okay, I'm gonna start. Saying
Okay,
this.
Mai,
I'm
go
obviously the chosen one. I am Sora High. Yes, now it is my mission to make a Game of Thrones reference every podcast. okay. Number one obviously is season 3. Number 2 is season 1. Number 3 is season 2. Number 4 is season 4. Number 5, season 5. Oh, I lied. I'm so clever.
I can agree with that.
Well, for me, it was a little bit of a yawning fest for me, but it was awesome. I think it's like into 1 through 10 for me, cause like,
No,
it would have been awesome.
Daniela, rate them with the other season finales. We're not talking specifics yet.
Oh, I just want to say it would have been awesome. It would have been better if it were more like season 3 finale. That was awesome.
Okay, Shannon.
It gets one Captain Swan face. That's it. So I agree with Mike.
Thank you.
Rams, what do you think?
Wow, this was the worst finale of Once Upon a Time. For me, my favorite was season 3. I actually don't really remember much about season 2 finale, unfortunately.
They go
So-
to Neverland.
It's when you want to be part of something
Did we
special.
get the Neverland flashbacks in that episode?
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Okay, in that case, that's the next. Season 3, Season 2, Season 1, Season 4, and after omitting several blank spaces, Season 5.
Wow. That explains a lot.
Ro, what do you think?
I disagree with Mai.
Okay.
Pretty.
Everyone agrees with mine. Okay.
Everyone does.
Okay,
I'm
these
awesome. I'm telling you, I'm a Sora High.
these,
Oh,
these
you know you
Princess who
are.
was promised.
okay. These next 3 questions are on everybody's favorite teenager.
Ugh.
Aww.
Pilot!
Okay. So, let's see. Should I read them all at once? No,
Yes,
I'll read the first 2 and then I'll read the next one.
Okay.
You'll understand why when I read them. Anonymous says, hello everyone. I just wanted to ask if Henry annoyed anyone else in the finale. I mean, the kid irked my soul and I hate how he talked to Emma. And then another Anon wants to know, and this is literally the best question we've ever gotten.
Including all the sex questions?
Nah.
Can the
No.
writers please not make Henry such a son of a moldy bagel?
That's something I would say.
He's too much like Regina and Neil that it's scary. He and Violet were insufferable in the finale. Do you guys think that Henry will finally learn his lesson that magic isn't the problem, but the people who use it are? He may be young, but he still needs to be held accountable for and at least face some consequences for his actions.
Well, he's learning from the wrong people, like his stupid stepmother. So he doesn't really have a lot of. He needs to hang out with better people.
I think the speech in the fountain, it was shocking. I was like, wow, this kid's turning out to be like charming right now.
No, that speech was
No.
painful. That was
I didn't
It
like
was
that.
horrible.
painful.
I
was
did not like
Yeah.
that. He
if
doesn't
I
have
had
that
seen
kind of
that
voice.
in New York, I would have been like, this kid's insane. I
All
would
those
have
people
gone.
would have walked away. Like, have you ever been to New York? All those
Yes.
people would have
Yes.
just kept on walking.
Nobody in New York would actually stand to listen to a kid because they will probably think he was begging for money.
Or hi.
No, actually, they would think he was begging for money or that he was a student that wanted to eat or something. Of course.
He is not the truest believer anymore. He is the truest dumbass, really, right now.
Ouch.
Honestly, I will say, I mean, I liked him for like a second in the finale in both parts, but I hated how he talked to Emma because I'm sorry, you're truly telling me that you're blaming your mother, your good mother, for not wanting your other mother to go evil. Why do you want her to? I mean, how can you expect her to trust her if Regina hasn't given her any reason to trust?
Oh, and not only that, but then Regina follows it up with letting Henry talk to Emma that way, just like Bagel did. I'm like, dude, no.
Yeah,
Like,
my
people need to
Twitter
stop
was
throwing Emma
flamed.
under the bus.
I remember my Twitter. While the episode was everyone was like, "Stop Neil Jr."
The thing that irked me the most with the I think the Only You episode with like the beginning where he was like, I gotta kill magic, magic is bad, we gotta get rid of it, and then what does he do? He rips out his pen and he's like, I'm gonna write the crystal in my hand. You just use magic, you dumbass. You just tried to fix your magical problem. So you are one to talk about getting rid of magic.
Considering what happens at the end of the episode with Regina, should we really be surprised that Henry is so
That's the thing,
hypocritical to use magic?
That's the thing that I hope in season 6 that he is like, but it's not going to happen. It's just I'd rather him be separated from Regina for a while, like he was in season 1. But
Rams, what did you think of Henry?
Oh, I really disliked him because of the way he was talking to Emma. I really couldn't. Like, this was like, I think whenever he goes to New York, he starts dissing Emma and calling her names because last time they went to New York, she was like, oh, pizza doesn't lie like you, blah, blah, blah. And now he's like, you didn't believe Regina. And I don't know, I mean, they write him in a really weird way. He's not believable like a 13-year-old. Sometimes he feels too young. And
Yes.
sometimes he feels
That's why he
like
needs-
a grandfather or something.
that's why he needs to go back to school. He's getting dumber every season.
Yeah! He doesn't even know. He doesn't even need to learn to write because the
like-
pen writes stuff. You
Dude.
know, he's going to turn into a moron who can't even write stuff.
Do Adam and Eddie not remember being teenage boys? It's like they don't remember what the teenage boy is like. And what the hell was Emma with the coddling? Why is why is he not grounded or something? He ran away.
Stole
and took
money!
I know, he did all these things like but then Emma and Regina are just looking at him as he kisses his girlfriend for the first time in front of Grady.
I don't
I'm like,
know. That's
why
okay.
is this fuckhead not getting grounded and assigned to his room?
Okay, I would if I had gone not to New York because I lived in San Diego, so that would have been a little weird. But let's say I would have gone to when I was 14 years old, I would have gone with like across the street, basically, or to another city. I would have been so grounded, especially
Mm.
without telling
Hmm.
anyone. I would have been so fucking grounded.
I'm just worried that Emma can't even ground him because then he'll say, "You stole money when you were a teenager." And like, they all shame Emma. I was just really upset about
Yeah,
this
it needs to
finale,
stop.
honestly.
Wow.
Ro, what did you think of Henry?
I
Bro,
kind of understood where he was coming from,
Yes, give us the male
but
perspective.
I was
nevertheless,
gonna say
Come
that.
on, bro.
I was
Gather
gonna say that.
perspective.
As somebody who has actually been a 13-year-old boy, what do you think?
Oh god. Okay,
well,
continue.
the male body goes through these changes.
It's not bad, bro. It's a podcast, not a Dr. Phil.
Oh my goodness.
Or they act dumb.
Well, I did like how he stood up to Rumpel though, and he
Me
doesn't let
too.
the fact that he's Neil's father, sway him in any way. He knows that Rumpel is a villain,
Now
and
No,
I
he
he
like.
didn't
doesn't.
in
No.
5A.
Well, yeah, he said to Rumpel, yeah, in 5A, he was like, even Rumpel changed or whatever like that. And I'm like, are you a dipshit idiot? Like, you are a dipshit idiot because you just believe and you still call him Grandpa. I don't understand why you call him Grandpa.
Yeah,
It's just,
that man has tried to kill you at least 3 times.
that is, being disrespectful to Charming, your real grandpa.
Seriously.
And I did also like how he used the Dark Grail to stop him from hurting Emma and Regina, because he chose his moms over him, and I prefer it to stay that way.
Well,
No
yeah,
more he's changed or anything like that.
and then he proceeded to do the stupidest thing ever and try to destroy the crystal. And why didn't anybody tell him about, hey, your family's stuck? They waited until after he was done. It's like, tackle the kid. Don't let him do the thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I don't need the
this
count
whole,
speech
this
and
whole,
everything.
the plot of this whole episode was predicated on characters not talking to each other, and that infuriates me and makes me insane.
And also, it was so stupid. Like, I was going through the episode like that. This character would never do that. This character would never do that.
Okay. So we've got one more question about Henry, and it's Neil related, which is why I waited to ask it. Anonymous wants to know, well, the finale pissed me off in more ways than one, and it wasn't because of the lack of CS, but it was the BS that was Rumpel, Regina, Neil, and his spawn, Henry. So are we really to believe that Neil was looking for a way to destroy magic? I refuse to
No.
believe that. He was a coward hiding from his papa and was making wedding plans with Tamara. Yeah, the dick hated magic, but during his short stint on the show, he didn't want to destroy it. The
That's
finale was a big ass mess, and I was less about Regina, the evil queen.
that's the thing, like with this whole like him like, oh, his dad told him this story about, oh, I wrote a journal and I have all this stuff in my like apartment. But literally you really spent 2 days with your dad, really. So the things he talked about
was
was
short.
Well, okay.
wait,
To be fair, it was like 2 weeks tops.
but the things you talked about was how to woo a girl with the Only You song, how to sword fight.
A homeless teenage girl, by the way.
Yeah, but he was like 11 years old at the time when this was going on too.
Yeah.
And he was doing sword fighting, and apparently he talked about, oh, there's this journal about if you want to destroy magic, Henry, you could do that this way. So those are the things that you're spending your time with your son about, really?
Yeah, it was bullshit.
It was completely bullshit.
Also, Neil really, not to defend Neil, but I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. Neil didn't really care about magic either way. Like, as long as it didn't get in his way, he didn't care.
Yeah, so that's why he wrote a journal
So,
about how to destroy it was
honestly,
bullshit.
I think that it's actually kind of. I mean, I don't want to say in the front because that's not the right word, but kind of like misusing his memory.
Well, I have a theory. I have a theory about this. And my theory is that Neil is Em and Eddie's self-insert character,
Oh
and
yes.
that's why he's constantly getting retconned into being not an asshole, which just makes him look like more of an asshole, and they
You
don't
know.
deal with
Exactly,
it.
it just makes him look
Mhm.
more of an asshole.
Completely.
Because if he told Henry, his son that he met 2 days ago, that, oh, don't tell your mother that I told you this is super secret. Like, he's already undermining her. And we know that he's undermined Emma in other ways in front of Henry, like
Mm-hmm.
making fun of her talents and then not defending her when Henry was a little shit to her and Henry about lying, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So this only makes him look worse. Like he's making Henry keep secrets from his other parents.
Exactly, like I said. Like,
And did anybody laugh really hard when Henry said, "This is why my dad gave up"? Because it's like, dude, your dad gives up at everything. What planet are you on?
He did not go to the library to look for books. He went there to eat a Big Mac, and that was it. It was just that was
He ate a bagel, a bagel, bagel.
he ate a bagel, and that was it.
What? And what is the fake unholy whatever the hell we're calling it grail in the New York Public Library
I
of all
don't
fucking
know.
places? I'm like, are you people on drugs or
I think they
something?
are. I really do. I think they're all
exactly,
Yeah.
it
stoned.
was,
I
and
honestly
then
think
this
not.
episode was like point to point, but none of them made sense.
Maybe they were on something when they wrote the script for this episode. Otherwise, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wonder if Jane or somebody else was like, "Boss, were you very stoned when you wrote this?"
Yep.
Bro, what do you think about the Neil nonsense?
Amazing how he's still a plot device even after he's dead.
Amazing.
Yeah, well said, dude. Well said.
I mean, that's literally all they use him for is these stupid plot devices that make no sense.
Honestly,
Yeah.
okay, here's the thing. He was not a good father. Neil wasn't. Well,
He wasn't a father at all.
okay, but I'm telling in the episodes we watched. But he did care about Henry, and like that's kind of offensive to his memory in a way that you see that he used his son to do his evil plot of destroying magic when the Neil we saw was like more worried about, hey, so you like food? Yes, I like food. So, what's your favorite food? Like, I'm sorry, he was asking normal first time dad for found out about he has a condition questions, right? So, it kind of makes, like I said, it makes, well, like Michelle said, it makes him look like a douche. So they didn't even care about his son. And for all of Neil's faults, and he had a lot. I do believe he cared about Henry.
I think he did too, but he did a piss poor job of actually showing it, and they continue to just make him do nonsense even after he's dead. I'm like, can we just stop retconning Bagel? That's all I'm asking. Just don't
Yeah.
mention him. Like, there has to be a way to talk about him and still acknowledge that he had faults rather than try to pretend that nothing he did actually hurt their protagonist.
Right.
Next question?
Okay. So these next sets of questions are about our other favorite person,
Oh, oh, which one? The middle
Regina.
one or the
My favorite
one?
person.
Regina.
Uh,
Okay.
So the female one.
Well, this one's
not
sort
the
of
male.
it's sort of an Emma Regina Snow question. Anonymous says, "I'm a hardcore Emma stan, and I'm done with how they treat my baby. It kills me to see Snow be more motherly to Regina than to her own damn daughter. Snow has been more gentle with Regina and worries more about her than Emma. Emma's happiness is the most important to me, and at the end of the day, Killian Jones is the one who has her back, who loves her and respects her no matter what." I just don't see how others don't have a problem with the way Snow and Regina are closer than Emma and Snow. I have a problem.
I have a very big problem with that. And hello, Emma Stan. I like you.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah,
it's safe to say everyone here is an Emma
I
stan.
know.
yeah. I mean,
Yes, but there's degrees of Emma
Yep.
Stans. And I'm very sure I
the,
beat all of you.
the fact that you coddle the woman who ripped your daughter away for 28 years, that's just weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
And try to kill you 1,000,000,000 times.
I know.
And counting.
And I
But
just don't understand. Like, at the end of the episode, I did not understand, after watching how the author nonsense went down, how Snow and Emma can stand there and advocate Regina take the easy way out with
Like,
this magical
everybody,
nonsense.
everybody in this whole 2-hour finale was out of character except for Rumple and Captain Charming.
Like I said.
They all are acting like
Oh, and
morons,
Selena.
honestly.
And Zelina.
and Selena.
And,
Yep.
and the people that don't talk in the episode, like babies and doors or whatever, but that was it. Everybody else was really, Henry's wishy-washy, but Emma, like, she just stood there and took it like she was getting beat in
I
the
was
ass.
so
And I don't like
embarrassed.
that.
That scene, that whole scene, having seen the whole thing, it just made me even more pissed off than seeing the sneak peeks of it. And I'm just like, are you serious, Regina? Like, really? You're going to say that Emma does not understand anything about darkness after having the
Oh
most
my god.
horrible darkness in the history of the world, like, inside her? Like, are you high?
Apparently so.
Like, Regina's problem is that she's only concerned about how she feels, that she's upset, that she is hurting, whatever, instead of how her actions affect other people.
Well, we're surprised she did that in Granny's the same way when she was like, "Please leave me alone. I need my pity party over here." So that's the thing that why I don't like Snowing, coddling her, and it's just you're feeding the monster when you keep doing that to her instead of slapping her in the face and saying, "Grow up, bitch." Just or like, life is tough. Get a helmet deal. So.
Oh. I know you guys, and I know, I don't know how about losing someone. Well, I do because it's on my family, but I just have to understand that she just lost true love again, and that's very hard for her. But also she
so
has to
did
accept,
fucking Emma.
and so did Emma.
This is
But
the
she
same
doesn't
thing Emma
understand.
This is the
She
same
doesn't
thing
understand.
Emma went through 5 minutes ago. And as far as
Yeah, and-
Regina, whoa, and as far as Regina knew when Emma walked in there, Hook was still dead. So why is she snapping at the woman who also lost her true love without actually acknowledging that, hey, maybe
And hey,
she's just a
okay,
shitty friend.
it's going to sound really, really, really mean, but and I don't like placing blame on other people's deaths, except for Hades. But really, Robin died because of Regina's stupidity. Like seriously, you went in there alone, even knowing, even seeing the crystal and all that. You should have left there. You should have orbed out and been like, we need reinforcements.
Mm.
So yeah, Regina's not the only one that has lost someone. Emma has lost Ingrid. She's lost her parents. She's lost Neil. She's lost Graham. She's lost
Walsh.
She lost
I
her
forgot his
because
name.
of Regina.
What doesn't matter?
Wash. She's lost August.
Oh, he's back
Ingrid.
now.
Well, yeah, but she technically lost the August that was her friend.
She lost Cleo.
Yeah,
She lost Cleo.
died too.
And in a way, she was betrayed by everyone. Then we have Snow. Snow lost her parents before because of Regina. She lost her mom. She almost lost Charming.
She lost her dad.
Charming almost lost Snow.
She lost 28 years with her own daughter.
Yes.
Her nanny.
Yes. She lost Joanna. She lost everything. Everyone in this show has lost people. A lot of them have lost a lot more than Regina. And they don't react the same fucking way.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So
that's not entirely true.
Well,
She's
most
lost
of
her
them-
sanity, her self-respect, her
mother.
dignity,
In terms
her...
of people, Ro. In terms of people.
Okay, well,
Oh,
Well,
while we're talking about Regina and the Evil Queen, let's do this one. Anonymous says a question
can
for the
I
next
just, sorry to
podcast.
interrupt, can I add something to
Yes.
the whole thing? I agree that when people grieve, sometimes really bad, like what you can say is horrible thoughts come up. You can't help it sometimes. But it's not nice to tell it to the person who's like, she can't tell Emma that, oh, I want to rip your boyfriend's throat. Like, just because she's in pain, it doesn't justify lashing out at somebody else. Even if she is talking, even if she thinks having a heart to heart, maybe the right person to say this would have been Snow, you
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
because she is not Huck's boyfriend.
The
You
thing,
know,
God.
no. But the thing with that, it would make me laugh because Lana, when she did an interview, she's like, Regina's such a private person. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? She's like the whiniest whine and tells everybody her pain like 5 seconds after it happens. How is she private when she's just unleashing
Well,
all
we
of her
know
pain?
Lana is
Regina
delusional
is a
as
private
fuck.
person. This is the same person who cast a curse
I know.
because
She,
a 10-year-old pissed her off and cursed everyone to a land without magic and unending strife and struggle. Yeah, that's a pretty private way to deal with your pain.
I'm like,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I don't
Hello,
understand.
Lisa.
Elise.
Hello, I'm here.
So,
The
yeah.
most irritating thing about it is she started this fishing before she even realized that Hook was alive. Like I had said before, when Emma first walks into the diner to try and talk to her because she feels bad about it and she wants to be delicate, at that point, when Regina's like, I don't want to deal with it, blah, 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 she doesn't even realize that Hook is still alive. She still thinks that Hook
We
is dead,
talked
and she's
about
still
that.
treating her like shit and not even validating the fact that this woman also lost her true love, yet you're treating her like garbage. Like, you're the only
Lisa, we
one who's
already
important.
talked about that.
We already talked about
We
it.
literally just said that like 10 minutes ago.
Alright.
Okay, well, here's the next question. Anonymous says, question for the next podcast: are the writers trying to tell us that Regina and the Evil Queen are two totally different people and that they are not one and the same? A little confused here. Well, Anon, you're not the only one who's confused.
I mean,
We're all
then the show
confused.
that has stuck We Are Both down our throats since season 2, episode 2.
Two,
Hmm?
because I like
And
that
then
episode.
suddenly, oh wait, never mind.
I mean, seriously, this is the exact same thing they did with Rumple, where they gave Rumple a clean slate, and then, oops, he's still, a douche canoe, even with the clean slate. And this is going to be the exact same thing with Regina, recycling the plot, where Regina's going to realize that the darkness is a part of her, whether she excises the evil queen from her as a different form or whatever, and she's going to have to take it back inside her anyway. So it's just a plot device, and it's
Well, can I say something about Regina? I think that the thing she needs to learn next new season is coming, starting to film in July, is that everybody has their darkness and their goodness. The only truth is the one we choose to act, the one we choose to be, and that's what Regina needs to learn.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing
You
with that,
learn
though.
that.
Is she already knows that. She just doesn't want to do the work. She said it herself. She's like, it hurts so much. It's so much struggle. I don't want to do this. And so she's like, well, if I take the evil queen out and destroy it, then I'll have a clean slate and be good again. It's like, no, that's not how it
And
works.
also, if it was really a clean slate, he wouldn't have been able to kill.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, really?
yeah, she literally killed the evil queen, and they all thought it was fine. Like, it didn't make any sense. Like, what are you guys on? Seriously.
I don't know.
How can you start a clean state with murder?
I know.
I'm just glad that she proved to Rumble, hey, I'm not like you. I'm
But
gonna
she
change and I'm
is.
gonna promise
And then she
things.
proceeded to do the same thing that Rumpel does all the time, which is take the magical shortcut way out.
I
Yep.
will say one thing for her. She had one good line in this episode. He has a nose. I have a fist.
Yes, that was my favorite Regina moment.
But
in
at
that
least with
episode.
Rumple, he accepted and finally says, like, I'm a dick. With Regina, she's like, I want to be both. I'm like, okay. I don't understand, but okay.
Ro, what do you think about Regina and the Evil Queen?
it's just such a cop-out after everything that we saw Captain Swan go through with the darkness inside of both of them. Emma literally had to kill Killian to free them both from the darkness. That was not an easy fix. They went through hell, literally.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're trying to repeat whatever they did through Regina. That's not gonna work. They just did that.
But as we
And
all know, they don't.
and that's the thing. I mean, if they had done this stupid plot twist like a season before, or maybe in another season, you would have been like, oh, okay. But I think we would have gotten a little over it a bit faster.
Yeah, I think this arc is way too late. It's like you should have done this maybe, I don't know, when Frozen was going on or something, or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But after seeing everything Emma and Killian went through this season, it's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Well, even what Regina went through, it doesn't make sense. It's a regression of her character, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, and they could have done such a better job of having her deal with her darkness if she'd actually confronted people that she killed in the underworld who were not related to her.
Yeah.
Or her horse.
Mm-hmm. That's why in season 6 is all about Regina trying to fight her inner demons, learn that that people have blood, darkness, and light in their heart. She has to accept that that's part of her. That's what she has to learn in season 6.
But shouldn't she have learned this in season 4? Like,
But
she's
yeah.
been through the same thing in season 4. It doesn't make
Mhm.
any sense to regress her and have her repeat the same lesson again.
And why do you need to kill Robin in order to do this?
I don't know.
Right.
Yes.
Another question.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna say I think it was probably a budget reason.
I mean, I think this story arc would have been so much more interesting with Robin because then he could actually confront the fact that, oh my god, I'm in love with the evil queen.
He can actually react to what's going around him, opposed to just, he's just dead, okay?
He is just, like, too passive, I guess. They just never had him confront the evil queen side of Regina, so it's not gonna happen.
And you know what?
Could have had a
What
threesome.
makes me really sad
Please no.
is that they gave him balls like right before he died.
And I've had him take
They
it
stripped
back
him
5
away.
minutes
Yeah, they
later.
stripped him away, though.
Oh yes, but they for like 5 minutes he had balls.
Lisa, what do you think about this evil queen stuff?
Well, as soon as I realized that the other half of her wasn't going to die, I think the way that this goes, it's almost like a Harry Potter-esque type thing where one cannot die as long as the other lives because they're two halves of a whole. So even though Regina believes that she's killed her evil half by crushing her heart, that's not how it works because it coexists. They're one person together. I think that's the journey that she's going to go on, is realizing that she can't take the easy way out. She can't wish it away or excise it from her. It's always going to be a part of her, and I guess that journey is for her to not complain about the pain, but to just deal with it. Because she's had to, what gets me is she acts like she's the only one that's ever had to go through this before. I'm like, something, you should sit down and have a coffee with Hook, because he could give you some lessons about how to deal with darkness, bitch. Trust me. This dude has been through, I don't even know how much, and he's never asked an author to rewrite his story. He's never not taken responsibility for his actions. He's never tried to excise Hook from his body because he couldn't deal with his darkness. He got up, he bucked the fuck up, he accepted that he fucked up, and he got better because he wanted to. Was it easy? No, it wasn't easy. It's never easy. Of course, it's hard, but that's one of the things that you just got to deal with. It's life.
Yeah, but we've just established that Regina is lazy.
But because she's always had everything handed to her on a silver fucking platter by Mommy Dearest, she can't deal with, or because she's always had magic to fall back to whenever things got too fucking hard. Like when back in season 2, when she lost Henry because they all thought that she had murdered Archie, she fell back to magic to get him back, and well, that's the easy way out. I think at the end of this arc, she's just going to realize she's going to have to take that darkness that she excised and put it back in and live with it. Is it stupid?
Yeah.
Yes. Is it unnecessary? Fuck yes.
Yeah, but I don't need to see a big, movie to get where we know where we're gonna get anyway. It's like
Right.
you're
I
wasting
know.
your time.
I'm really hoping this is going to be a minor B, like a smaller B plot compared to the bigger Jekyll Hyde. I would rather just.
Oh, that's cute.
Well, technically, they kind of do that to us from time. I mean, like we thought, 5D was all about Hook. It really wasn't. It was not.
No,
No.
I never believed that it was, because they were very clear that it was Hook was the reason for them to get there, and that it was going to be this other soul nonsense, which didn't even happen after the first 4 episodes anyway.
I mean, they did the same thing in 4A. The majority of it was Frozen, and then the B plot was Regina, author, all that bullshit. I'm seriously hoping that, well, we obviously know the major plot for 6A is going to be this Jekyll and Hyde, Land of Untold Stories, characters, all that craziness. The stuff with Regina, I really hope is like the side plot. I don't need to see every episode focused on her dealing with the bullshit.
We do not need 1,000 flashbacks because we've seen already 1,000 flashbacks.
Yeah.
I love your. No, we won't need Evil Queen flashbacks because she'll be in Storybrooke, people.
Exactly.
I love your
What
optimism.
matters for me is that at the end of this arc that she's gonna have in the beginning of season 6, is that she chooses to be a hero and chooses to be that and doesn't go back to being the
But she
queen.
couldn't.
So
she
basically,
couldn't-
her storyline in season 2, season 3, and season 4.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we'll get
But
into
she's
this
not
when we get to
humble.
the Captain Swan stuff. Okay, we've got one more, and this is more of a comment than a question, but it's from Stacy, who has epic rants, so I'm going to read it. Let's see. Regina letting Henry talk shitty to Emma in the finale parallels Neil letting Henry talk shitty to Emma in season 2, which is upsetting. If Em and Eddie are subjecting us to this Jekyll and Hyde / Regina and Evil Queen nonsense, then they should finally give us Killian's mother, who maybe could have come from one of the Untold Stories or Steampunk Land, and maybe show where he got his good heart and badassery from, because he sure as hell did not get that from Brennan. Fuck that guy. Woo! I agree with that. And then number 1, this finale was A, charming family members coddle Regina cliche. B, no offense to anyone who likes Regina, but she is driving people away from the show amongst other things. And C, and this, I'm going to mention this, but we're not going to talk about it. J-Mo walking away from all that. Her Snapchat at the ABC upfronts was so funny. I'm not trying to insinuate something because I know it's not right, but to be honest, I would do the same if I played the main character star of the show and someone else is trying to be it. When you're the one working your ass off, J-Mo is classy and a queen, which we can all agree with. But yeah,
to be honest, we don't know the context of what was going through her mind when she turned around and saw that Lana was snapping.
No, but
didn't I just say we were not going to talk about it?
Remember an email. No talk about that characters. We can do that post podcast.
If you want to talk about it, talk about
the things that are in the episode or spoilers. No.
I know. Why are you guys yelling at me?
Because you're the one that brought it up.
I think it's fair to say that the email kind of insinuates J-Mo in a negative light, so I think it is fair to counter that by saying we don't know the context. I think that's really
That's what oh my god, that's what I was just trying to say.
That's why I agree with Lisa. We have to add the disclaimer.
I was not trying to bring up an argument about who was doing what or who felt what. I was saying let's not make a judgment because we don't know what was going on. So I don't even want to deal with it because we don't know what was going on. We were not there. All we got was a Snapchat picture. We had that's like 5 seconds of nothing.
Yes.
Awesome Snapchat picture.
Okay, so this next question is pretty funny too. I like it. Anonymous says, "What's with all these villains wanting to rule over Storybrooke? It's not even that great of a town. The only place to eat is Granny's and that fancy Italian restaurant. Do they even have a movie theater or rec centers? It's not a very exciting place unless villains come to town to wreak havoc."
Storybrooke needs a nightclub or a movie theater or something.
And that is a good question. Why are all these villains obsessed with this town?
Well,
Yeah.
and you know what? The only thing it has is the red rabbit. I mean, the red.
Rabbit.
A rabbit hole.
And you understand me, right? Right. It has the rabbit hole. That's the only wreck place, and I'm using air quotes.
Because it's the only place that has modern day things, probably.
And has magic.
And has magic at the same time. It's straddling modern day and magic, which is, people like
Well, mix.
automobiles, people like, baths and like showers and whatever.
And yeah, it straddles that line. It has magic, but also has the technology that the other realms are lacking. And I think they feel a little bit more free in Storybrooke than they do in the other realms, because the other realms are so like cloistered and self-contained, and they don't have a lot of technology and a lot of modern day things. Whereas in Storybrooke, they have that mix where they can do more with what they've got, and now that apparently they can be out of the boundaries of Storybrooke without losing memories or turning into a tree or some other shit.
Oh my god! I am so pissed about this. What's wrong with these assholes?
They can actually leave Storybrooke now and go into the real world and cause more shit.
Did I or did I not call it? Did I or did I not say that they would just forget that the town was cursed?
Yeah, what happened to Dopey? Did they pass him on the subway?
And it's like, okay, if the answer is that the curse broke when Killian died, that's fine, but you need to tell us that that's what happened. You can't just leave it dangling there as a gigantic fucking pothole that you could drive a 747 through.
Well, as long as they have the scroll, anybody can leave and come back anytime they want, really.
But that's the thing, though. It's one scroll, and they had 5 different people leave town. Rumpel left, Henry and Violet left, and Emma and Regina left, and they didn't all leave together, and 2 cars came back. So it's like, dude, tell us if the curse is broken. That's okay. I'm cool with the curse being broken because Killian gave up his life and he's the one who cast it. That's fine. But you need to tell me that that's what happened. You can't just leave it as a giant pothole.
Well, it's a pretty.
You still need to throw tacos.
There's a pretty easy way to do it. I mean, Emma in the bug drives through with the scroll, parks on the other side, throws the scroll over, so that when Charming comes in Gold's car, he just picks up.
But that doesn't explain how they all left.
Yeah. How did Henry leave separately? Blah blah blah.
I mean, we're clearly meant to understand that the curse is broken and people can leave town whenever the fuck they want. So why not just tell us, hey, the curse is broken because Killian died? It's not hard. It takes 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
I know, but that's not the only thing that they left unfixed.
But that's what I'm saying.
They also left the whole thing with Guinevere. Has she been defogged, or is she still? I'm assuming that since she hugged Charming on her way out the door, that must mean that she's not, all Camelot dusted anymore.
But that's what I'm saying. They left all of these potholes without explaining what happened in favor of this Henry hates magic nonsense, and it's just infuriating.
Yes.
Shannon, go ahead.
No, I didn't have really anything more to elaborate on that.
Was my ranting enough?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess Arthur, him dying would cause that curse to end.
And
or something.
again,
but
they should tell us that.
I know.
Yeah, show us.
Is
And
Dopey still a tree or what?
If we're, let me just put it this way: if your audience is left asking you these questions, then you did something wrong as a writer.
Oh! And the whole thing with the River of Souls, and everybody asked Adam on Twitter what's going on with the River of Souls and stuff like that. He's like, oh, we talked about that already in the episode.
Watch the episode again.
It was
no.
They said they were going to talk about it.
Well, no, and remember, Colin sort of insinuated at some point that he was that Killian was going to find out what happened to Mila, and that never turned up either. So either it was in the script and they cut it when they edited the episode, and Adam just assumes that we all magically absorbed it by osmosis or something, or they fucked up. And I choose to believe it's they fucked up.
Yeah.
Colin didn't say anything about that he would find out. He was just trying to answer the question in a way that would avoid being spoilery, and they did kind of indicate what might happen to the people in the River of Souls because they were behaving differently and Arthur was going to make changes. I'm not saying I'm satisfied with the answer, but they did address it. It's not like they completely ignored it.
But Adam and Eddie straight up said what they were asked is, are they going to address the whole issue with Gaston and Mila and whoever else was in the River of Souls? And he said, yes, they will
Well, yeah, it
fix
was
this issue.
addressed.
But
But
They
they
just
didn't
didn't go
address
they
into
it.
didn't
detail.
actually
That's all.
see. This is one of the big, like, in-your-face problems that I think that this show has. I don't know how many editors that they have, but I think sometimes when they edit this show, that they don't edit properly. I've seen it happen so many times. Like, you can tell that when a scene starts, that they were taking up from where a cut scene was cut out. Like in season 4, 4B, when Hook runs out of Gold's shop, the scene previous to that was cut out. There were you have Hook walking down the street with the snow globe.
That's 5A, dear.
Or 5A. You have Hook walking down the street with the snow globe. That, because they cut out the previous scene of why he had it, that part should have been cut out. There was no need for it because it didn't make sense with the context of everything else that was going on. They leave in a lot of stuff that doesn't need to be left in because it's taking up right after cutscenes. And it just confuses people. They need to edit better. Like, seriously, they need to edit better.
Okay, here's the thing. This show has a shitload of plot holes. But I think this 5B has more plot holes than ever. And that's what bothers me the most. Like,
Yes.
I can deal with 1 or 2 plot holes, and I can deal with hints here and there. But every other episode, there was a new plot hole.
But
And I was
let's
like, and they didn't solve anything. They didn't resolve
Mhm.
anything.
and let's be honest. The main problem here is because they were too preoccupied setting up season 6 with this finale than resolving the plot threads that they introduced in season 5.
Well,
and
that's
that's
the
why
way.
this finale is so fucked up and has so many plot holes.
Like
Just
we
in
were
one
saying
episode.
earlier, it feels like a premiere, not a finale.
Yeah, I know. It's weird the things that like I thought like they would leave, to talk about in season 6, and like why are we like you're talking about like like we know that they're split up or something like that, but then you reveal it to Charming and everybody else that they're 2 different people. I was like, why isn't that revealed in season 6? Or like the whole like Regina splitting herself. Why isn't that kept for season 6?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense
Mhm.
that you would reveal. I'd rather have actual conversations between the main characters opposed to with the guest stars. So, and that didn't happen at all.
And you know what also was really weird about the whole episode? Well, I mean, like we said, it feels like a premiere. And here's the thing. The most important part of the season is the finale. Especially for a renewed show. Because if you don't give people a reason to jump back in, they won't. Trust me. They'll watch the finale and be like, oh, well, nothing excites me, nothing gives me any hope.
There was no action.
I'm not gonna watch season 6. Like, okay, a good example of this is Outlander season 1. It ends on a good note, and it ends on, oh, we're gonna take France. You wanna know what happens to the Frasers in France. So, you watch the season 2 premiere. Maybe you don't watch the rest, but you'll at least watch the premiere. Here, it's gonna be like, okay, so why should we watch the premiere? There's no cliffhangers, there's nothing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, okay, here's the thing. The season 1 finale ends with the big purple cloud cliffhanger. The season 2 finale ends with the Jolly Roger going through the portal to Neverland cliffhanger. The season 3 finale ends with Elsa walking out of a barn cliffhanger. The season 4 finale ends with Emma getting sucked into the darkness cliffhanger. They didn't spend the entire 2 previous episodes introducing the next plot. They just stuck it on at the end. And they didn't do that this time. They just spent the entire episode with Snowing and Killian and Zelina on an adventure to another land rather than actually resolving holy crap, Emma just got reunited with her true love, but she doesn't get to spend any time with him because he
Which
gets out of the
sucks.
portal. So, on that note, Captain Swan questions.
Yes.
We have quite a few since that's what we're here for.
Yep.
The first one is from Anonymous, and they would like to know what are your thoughts on the lift kiss scene.
It's the only thing that saved the episode. Really, to watch.
Well,
Really
that depends on your perspective.
Well,
Well, I
Okay.
liked it. It was hot. It was beautiful. Like I said, they finally said "I love you" without anything happening. But it would have been awesome if there was a fucking proposal. Where was the proposal?
Okay, here's the thing. I said it since the spoilers came out. There was never gonna be any proposal. And it's not me being mean or cynical, but the stupid, like, people have got to stop believing that foreshadowing, and yes, I'm using air quotes.
Oh, we got questions about what I think you're going to talk about.
Okay, so you want me to stop talking about it and
Yes.
talk about it?
Let's
Okay.
just talk about
Okay.
the actual kiss.
Okay, the actual
part.
kiss. Why the fuck didn't they give me my sex? I need my sex. I deserve my sex. I've done my waiting. 5 years of it in the Once Upon a Time fandom.
Amen, sister. Amen. I mean, I have to just for me for a second, I have to admit that the first time I watched it, now I've seen it in GIFs and in the actual, YouTube scene like 18,000 times now, but in my initial viewing of the scene, I was so disappointed and I had no expectations because I didn't expect a proposal. I didn't even expect fucking sexy times. But I was still disappointed. I'm like, how am I disappointed over Captain Swan Kiss? Like, seriously. I'm like, and looking back at it now, I understand what they were going for as far as Emma actually being able to say the words without, doom and gloom over their heads. Like, I understand how important that is. I do. I really get it. I promise you, I understand. But you introduced a plot thread of them moving in together, and then boom, nothing. No resolution to that. And I'm like, what in the fuck is this?
I'm the first one to be all happy. You guys know it for Emma milestones, but I mean, this is a milestone we kind of already had.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Ro, what do you think?
I'm just relieved that they're together and no one is dead.
Good
That is
laugh.
the positive way to see it.
Rams, what do you think of the scene?
My reaction was the same as yours, Michelle. I was really underwhelmed when I first saw it. Like, I already knew from spoilers that we weren't going to get a proposal, but I guess I still expected something more. Maybe talk about moving in, or at least something vague. So I was a little disappointed. I mean, I do understand that it was an important milestone for Emma, but coming at the end of a whole season of angst and separation and death, it was very disappointing. Yeah.
Lisa?
I have to say, I'm in agreement with you in that the kiss, all Captain Swan kisses are lovely things. I'm not discounting that it was not lovely. It was. But considering everything that these two have been through season 5A, separation, darkness, death, not once, not twice, but 3 times. Once which she had to commit herself, and then having to leave it behind in the underworld, torture, all of this mess. I would have thought that, I'm not trying to sound entitled, but I just feel like, and this is not even for me as a fan, this is me being disappointed for them as a couple. I'm like, they deserve more than that after what they have been through. Even if a proposal had not been said, to at least, have a confirmation that the moving in will be occurring. And I know it's a plot point that we've already brought up before in 5A. I just felt like what we got was not equivalent to an equivalent payoff to what they have been through. I almost felt like if they had taken the fan filming of, when the fans went down there and filmed it, there was so much more to it. I know that it was different takes. if they had taken that and put it in there instead, it would have been like 50 times better. I almost felt like I was watching the end of season 4 of Doctor Who. Not that Doctor and Rose Kiss wasn't good, but when you saw the confidential portion of it, where it was from different angles, and it was a longer shot, and there was more of it, you really felt like you got shafted. That's
I almost wish there hadn't been any dialogue. That if it had just been the kiss, and maybe them like walking off together, clearly intending to go to their home, I would have liked that better.
Sex.
Now I know they did it for the parallel to the end of season 4, and parallels are fine, but not when you're trying to wrap up your main couple
Also,
story
because
for the season.
and this goes with the whole thing I said about plot holes. They set up a shitload of things in Friday, and they followed through on none of them.
Mm-hmm.
if she had just said one line, just one line.
Them actually following through would have been perfect. Like, let's go into our house now. Let's go home.
Yeah,
was
just add
And
that
just
line.
need at one line. Let's go home.
Yep. There's so
Go
many
home
little
after Granny's or
Yeah,
something.
there's so many little things that could be fixed with just one line, and they just don't do it, and I'm just boggled.
Yeah, right? It's mind-boggling how they miss the obvious things.
Okay, so to my future rant, which is probably also my rant. Anonymous
rants.
question for the next podcast: do you think that wedding dress that was shown between Emma and Killian really is foreshadowing of there possibly being a Captain Swan wedding next season? I really hope that it is, but I don't want us to get our hopes up again. What do you think? Mine,
No.
go.
No. No.
I am stretching. Here we go. Okay. I'm not trying to be mean or cynical, and I understand people needing to grab onto something. I do. I mean, hello, I'm a Stark fan. But come on, people. There's foreshadowing and there's delusional. We've been seeing that quote unquote, and yes, I'm using air quotes, wedding dress in season 3, early season 3. At that point, I was a firm believer in it. I even wrote about it. I wrote letters about how maybe it was their time, blah blah blah. We've been seeing that for 3 seasons now. It's literally just a plot setting.
Yeah.
It means nothing.
If it happens once, maybe twice, you could call it foreshadowing. Not when it's there every single time. It's just the way the set is dressed, people. It's a dress is just a dress. Just stop, please.
Say no. At this point, we cannot say yes to the dress.
Classic.
It's
Anybody
an
else?
unfortunate thing, but I fear that as lovely as Captain Swan is, it's going to be the ultimate slow burn of all slow burns.
Well, yes. I don't mean to undermine anyone, but come on, people. Come on.
Anybody else have opinions on the dress?
I do.
Daniela, go.
I know my opinion. I know Lisa's opinion, but I think that dress maybe I know it has been shown since 3 seasons past, but I just think Adam and Eddie are going to a different direction with it, and maybe maybe it's a little bit of a sign to keep hopeful for the fans, so not to be too disappointed with the entire season 5 finale. That was suck-ish. But I just think that maybe Captain Swan may get engaged in her wedding in the end of the new season. But we can all hope. We can dream. We can hope. But keep your low expectations, everyone, because every time you keep high, you get fucked over.
Okay, here's the thing. Everybody remember that shot in, I think it was, I can't remember what episode it was in 5B. Remember that shot with Rumpel in between a busted up Killian and Emma, and everybody thought that Rumpel was gonna, like, use their kid to get out of his deal with... Yeah, it was 14. To get out of his deal with Hades, and it was like a big foreshadowing thing, and it turned out to be no.
No.
He did something
Honestly,
entirely
if
different.
anything goes with what Daniela said, no offense, Darwin, it would be Eddie and Eddie being baiting, not actually intending to do anything with it.
Yeah, I think that's what they're doing at this point. I mean, I know people are like, the general audience knows that it has to be a big deal. I'm like, oh, people know. Have you not? Have you not been burned enough? Really?
Seriously, come on, people. We are not Targaryens. Even Targaryens burn.
Okay,
Well, like
Danny.
the whole of 5A was kind of foreshadowing a proposal. And if they put in all those hints and they deliberately withheld a proposal, then it really is just in our heads. Or they're baiting, or both, you know?
Yeah, I think it's
It's,
both.
yeah, I think it's both. So at this point, unless the proposal actually happens, I'm not going to believe that any of this is foreshadowing. And you can't have something foreshadow a plot point 2 seasons ago, and then you just. I mean, that's not really foreshadowing. Yeah, sure, Captain Swan will eventually get married, but this is at this point it's just baiting. You see what I mean? Like,
Yes.
in a
Yep.
fairy tale show, it's kind of an obvious progression. So if they had really meant it as a foreshadowing, it should have happened this season. Otherwise, it's just plot progression. That's all.
Mm.
Because I
Shannon.
mean,
Go
after a
ahead.
while, you just kind of get like, okay, we understand that she had walls up, and it took her time to trust him, and it took her time to open her heart and let him in and be vulnerable. Blah blah blah. Okay, but I mean, how much more does she need? She's vulnerable now. She told him that she loves him. Okay, great. Can we move on now?
And that was my point that I've been saying all week that she's basically had to learn this exact same lesson 3 times. Season 3 finale, season 4 finale, and the season 5 finale. Same thing over and over and over again.
Mhm.
Shannon, go
I,
ahead.
You guys said it all, so what am I
Okay.
supposed to say? So,
Okay. All right.
Um.
Okay, so next question is it's sort of back to 21, but I'm going to ask anyway. Anonymous says, question for the next podcast. Do you know if the music where Killian and Emma kiss in the graveyard in 521 is meant to be the CS theme music? If it is, it sounds a bit different than it was before. Do you think they changed the theme music for CS? What do you think? Well, no, they always do that. Like, there's always like a new riff on it in like every
Mhm.
Captain Swan scene.
Yeah, and Mark Isham is a genius, so he's
Obviously.
always adding new stuff or thinking new stuff. You can
You're,
add. I mean, you can ask him. He honestly, if
and they do
he's
that. They do
really
that
nice on
for,
Twitter. You can literally just ask him.
and they do that for all the themes. I mean, the snowing theme has different variations. Sometimes it's sad. Sometimes it's angsty.
Happy.
Uplifting.
Sometimes it's whatever. So if they didn't change it, it's just a different riff on it.
Yeah.
Everybody agree? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Mark Sherman is the awesomeness of a great director of music.
Okay, so this one will probably also lead to rants. Anonymous says, question for the next podcast. So has everyone pretty much given up hope that we are ever going to get a CS sexy time scene on the show? I have been getting that from a lot of people lately, ever since A&E said that about it in the interview with Leanne. I hope people don't give up because I won't for as long as the show goes on. It just does not make sense for it to
I
not
will
happen.
never give
What
up.
do you what do you think? Have you given up hope yet?
I will never give up. This is my life's blood. Okay? I was there when the term bang her like a gentleman was invented.
So was
I
I.
so was
invented
I.
red dash of sex. I will follow my CX sexy times to the grave and to hell and beyond.
Me too. I'm not gonna give up. If they don't have sexy times in either 6A or 6B, I'm seriously going to go to Los Angeles and lynch Adam and Eddie with my own hands.
Yeah, that would go badly for you.
Sorry, I shouldn't be dramatic.
I'm really kind of hoping that since they said that 6A is going to be centered on Storybrooke and we're not going to have to worry about going to different realms or whatever, and they're going to try to get back to like their season 1 style of doing things, where it's more emotional and more character driven. I really hope that they stick with that and they're not just bullshitting us, because if they do, and they're not just plot, 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 because I have a feeling that the way that Hyde works, since he's not inherently magical, that it's more insidious. So it will take longer for whatever he's trying to do to happen. So it might actually give them more time to have those moments that we've been waiting for. So cross your fingers. It might actually happen.
But that's the thing. If it's like just if there's no development, they're just going back on dates. Who wants to watch that? I mean, I do want to watch that, but it's like we are seriously. They are big and confirmed true love. They went back, death and everything. Zeus ships them like fuck. You're telling me that they have to keep going back to Granny's to get more lasagna? That's as far as they're going right now. Seriously.
Well, their house is going to be used. We know that. So the house still exists.
Thank God.
But here's the thing. I am now at the point where I believe zero that Em and Eddie say, that I will believe shit when I see it on my screen. And while no one, except maybe wants to see us sexy times more than me.
I want
Yes,
it.
thank you, thank you.
I might do.
As
I want it just
as
like
the
my
person
house.
who has
No,
who literally has Queen of Smut on her blog
she does.
and spends, a good chunk of my life writing sexy times for these two because the show refuses to fucking give it to me. I'm now at the point where I believe it when I see it, and right now I don't see squat. Because, these are the same writers who said, ask the characters when Leanne asked if it had happened yet. And I'm like, really? Really? That's your answer? That means you do not fucking give a shit. Please get out of my face.
Yes.
Oh.
And this is why we share a brain.
Wonder Twins.
I mean, they might not care, but we sure as hell care, because we're the ones that have to sit through every other fucking couple on this show getting sexy times and bangerang.
Rumble and Belle are having a baby. And
Yes.
no one wants to see them have sexy times, but we know they have because Belle's pregnant. I mean, come on, people.
We had to see Zelina give birth first before bangerang. I mean, you fucking kidding?
Henry will have sex with Violet before anybody.
Oh, God.
Yeah, someone needs to have a talk with Henry, otherwise he's going to end up.
No, it's going to be the other way around. Henry's going to have a talk with Killian, because apparently it doesn't he's like, can I borrow your condoms, dude? Like that.
Oh my God, no, please.
Killian's
Oh my God, I think
what's a condom?
I think he just killed my brain.
Oh, my God.
Oh my God.
I need brainwave right now.
Yeah, brainwave.
Okay. Let's take a breathe. Breathe, everyone. Breathe.
Bro, what do you think about the subject of CS Sexy Times? Are we going to get them?
I've given up asking that question, to be honest.
Agreed.
Oh, God.
No, actually, don't give up on asking that question. Seriously, guys. Ask the fuck out of that question at San Diego Comic-Con. Because don't just nag them to death, then they'll just understand.
I'm starting to think that Adam and Eddie don't care.
Bullshit answer anymore.
Okay.
I just think that Adam and Eddie don't care about sexy times or Captain Swan payoffs.
I agree. Okay, so these are more of overall season 5 type questions about CS. Question for the next podcast: what was your favorite Captain Swan moment of season 5?
Fuck.
Wow.
You cannot do this to me.
Not to me either. I have a list. A list of things that I liked in this season. Except for now.
Okay, then I'm just gonna go first. Their reunion at the end of 521.
Okay. I have to have 2 of them. Because 1 for 5A, 1 for 5B.
Fine.
5A is kissing in the middle midfield. Because, I'm sorry, my film student brain cannot stop loving that scene because of how it's framed and what it means. Okay. And then the 5B one, it's the same one. The reunion in 501. Anyways.
Okay, mine was the captain, where the first kiss of this season when Emma was a dark one. She tried to seduce Cook, not discovering that he's a dark one. All that we didn't know that until it progresses. When they danced in the ball in Camelot, that was cute. I like the moment when Hook said, "I love you, Emma Swan, no matter what you've done." That's my favorite.
I missed that
Um,
one.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
like the reunion in
Anyone,
episode
let the next
21.
person have. Let the next person.
And to top it off, I like the lip kiss even though there wasn't a proposal.
Lisa.
Okay, I got two for each. For 5A is the kiss in the Middle Field and the death scene in the Middle Field. It's so emotional. And for 5B, their final goodbye after their true love, after they finally were confirmed true love, like that whole thing, the true love confirmation and the goodbye once they realized that they failed, and then the lift kiss at the very end.
Shannon.
I like them riding on a horse and then the middle mist kiss.
Rams.
I think yeah, for me it was also the middle miss kiss after they rode on the horse and they spoke about the future. Yeah, that was my favorite.
Ro. Ro.
Row your
disappeared.
boat.
Ro has disappeared.
Sorry.
Row your boat.
I forgot to press the button.
Were you talking and wondering?
Yes.
Okay. Favorite
I
Captain
love,
Swan.
I love most of what happened in Camelot. The dancing, the horse riding, and when she saves his life, how emotional she is at that moment. I mean, what other couple has been given those moments on this show? Not even Snowing, I don't think.
Nope.
Okay, so in well, this is kind of a redux since most of us had a kiss as a favorite moment. But Anonymous says, question for the next podcast: what was your favorite Captain Swan kiss of the season? And again, I'm going to go with.
Okay, I am going to go with. Since I said a kiss for the other one. Oh wait, but not Captain Swan scene. Oh, never mind.
Well, mine was the first one in Emma's house and the one in the Mills field and the one in the lift kiss in the finale.
Middle miss,
Middle mist.
middle miss kiss.
Middle mist.
There's nothing like the middle mist kiss.
Well, for
Yes.
me it was the kiss after Killian said "I love you" to Emma. Her face was so beautiful. Oh, and then she kissed him. I think that's my favorite kiss.
I do like the dorky kiss they got when he came back from the dead and she kissed him on the cheek. Those are.
Oh, that's so cute.
It's a different kind of kiss that we haven't had before.
Mm.
Bro.
Oh, I pressed the button this time.
Okay.
When he gives her the ring and she kisses him, and also when he comes back from the
Good
underworld.
choices. Good choices.
I was like, comes back from where? Okay.
He said Underworld.
So next one is Catmull says, "What do you think are Colin and Jen's best scenes? Not necessarily favorite or best, or favorite but best." And I
am not nothing. I was never nothing. The power you have, I don't need.
well,
I
okay,
think that was one of Jen's best scenes.
okay. So individually, Jen's best is the "I am not nothing." Colin's best is
No, goodbye.
the death. Is the death, and them together is the goodbye in the underworld.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah, mine. I think I like the I was not nothing. I love that scene. I'm never gonna be over it. It's the best scene ever for Emma, for Jen. But I like the one where Hook said, "I'm not gonna give up on us." That's one of my favorites, and the one that he was sacrificing, and saying, "I'm gonna choose the man I want to be," and he saves everyone, sucking all the darkness that everybody thought was gonna go in the sword and be gone, but it went to Rumble. But I just like when he just chose to be a hero and say no to darkness.
Yeah, but we're saying acting wise.
Yeah, but I just love Colin, and he's great doing Hook, and Emma too. They both do great individually, and when they're doing like a couple scene, I like it.
Lisa?
Uh, for Emma, confrontation with Nimue. For I actually really liked when she was Dark Swan. I think she did the last scene in episode 1 of 5A when she walks into Granny's and no one can believe it's her, but it's her, and she's totally dark. I thought she did an amazing job with that. And then Killian's first death scene in the middle of this field, the emotion she poured out of that and episode 11, the emotions that she poured out of that was just incredible. For Killian, for Colin, death scene in episode 8, death scene in episode 11, the goodbye scene for sure, the emotions that he poured out. I'd never seen Coke cry before, and that brought out an emotion in me I don't even realize it was there. Because I've seen Emma cry about it a gazillion times, and it always hurts me. But to see Killian do it, because you know he doesn't, he's not the most emotional person.
Mm-hmm.
To see that just really, like, wow. And another one that I really liked was when he said goodbye to his brother for the final time. When he finally, when his brother finally told him what he needed to hear, that he was a better man than he could ever be, and then he was a hero.
I totally forgot about that scene. But
he didn't have to keep trying to live up to that unreachable, rung that he'd been trying to live up to.
Yeah. Okay, Shannon, what's your favorite Colin scene and favorite Jen scene?
I think you all mentioned all of mine, so there's nothing. Really nothing new to add. So.
Does anybody have anything different?
No.
Mm-mm.
Healer.
No.
Healer.
Okay. All right. So we sort of kind of covered this one too, but we'll do it again anyway. Anonymous says, question for the next podcast, what are your favorite Killian scenes of season 5?
I already did that.
Yeah.
Oh, you did that.
Those were favorite, well, that was favorite Colin scenes?
They're the same thing.
Sounds the same.
Yeah, it's the same. We can do that. Okay. So, Hooked on Killing for Life 28 says, what are your theories on what you think will happen next season for Killian and Emma?
Engagement, coffee, moving on.
I don't even want to speculate.
I will.
I'm,
A little. A little.
I'm all speculated out.
For me, it's just if besides confronting Mr. Hyde, helping Regina, and all that shit, I think it's engagement, coffee, moving in, and then when this and 6B is the wedding, and that's it.
Okay,
Besides,
here's a question. Do we think the season is going to start with them moved in together, or is that going to be something that they actually cover on the show?
I
don't know, but I just want to be surprised, and I want to speculate a little bit, just a little bit.
I think, given the way they seem, suicidally intent on dragging these things out as long as humanly possible, that's going to be something that they cover on the show.
Well, they better, because they have nothing else to do. It's like they have no plot really that they left off.
I mean that we're actually going to see Emma ask him.
Okay.
Again?
No, that's what I'm saying, because apparently they forgot that they covered this already, so they don't want to just.
I agree, Michelle. It's going to be anticlimactic, though, right? I mean, they reached all these milestones. And then they have to retreat the same girl. Oh, will you move in with me? Are you sure, Swan? Are you still feeling guilty about me going back from the
No,
dead?
I don't need that shit.
No.
No, Mm-mm.
No,
Yeah, let's not have that.
I need Emma to be like just stealing all of his stuff off the Jolly Roger and moving it in the house, and he's like, "What the fuck happened to all my stuff?" And it's already moved in the house. There it is.
Poof, Harry Potter
Well,
style.
we can't be sure about that. This is kind of already starting to look like a 4A retreat, with Emma kind of withdrawing from Killian because she feels afraid or guilty, or she's dealing with stuff. And I guess I'm being a little negative, so maybe I shouldn't say anything. I'll see what happens. I guess I'll just keep my mind open. I'm not very positive.
Okay.
We'll talk about it more at the next podcast.
Yes. For Comic-Con podcast.
Comic-Con.
Lisa, what do you think?
Honestly, I don't think she needs to ask him. I think that would be redundant to the nth degree at this point, considering how much of a point they made it in 5A that this is what they wanted. This was the house and everything. That was their future. Knowing how Adam and Eddie work and their propensity for having everything of importance occur off screen, I would not be surprised if season 6A takes up and he's already moved in.
I mean, I hope for that because I really do not want the retread, but
I'd rather have a time jump, but apparently they're not having one.
Yeah.
It's probably going to take up where she runs them, where Regina runs back and go, Hyde is here! Hyde is here!
Well, that's the thing. Are they going to do that? That's the thing. Are they still kissing for 4 months and then they open with them walking into Granny's and being like, "Hey, everybody." I'd rather have at least like a week or something. Just a week. It doesn't have to be months and weeks and 6 weeks or whatever. Just a week.
Well, they have to do something soon because believing that Jared is the Henry 13 is getting
believing
insane.
that well, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. He's already looking.
Yeah, Jared cannot pass for that anymore.
I'm tired of these non-time. I'd rather get time jumps, and then they can say, "Oh, it was covered in so and so," but they're not doing that anymore apparently. And it's like, well, if you're gonna show like 5 episodes is one day, you better give me every single thing that's going on. But you guys are like, "Oh, it happens off screen." It's like, how can you? You just covered one day in 5 episodes.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's why I'm kind of okay with them bringing Jekyll and Hyde in, because this is a plot where you have a main character who's not necessarily magical, who doesn't pose a massive threat, say on the scale of the Dark One or Regina or Pan. This guy doesn't have magic. He's incredibly strong and he has an inherent power, but he's not like an inherently magical being. I don't know how far that extends to however many people he's bringing with him from the land of untold stories. They didn't seem like they were inherently magical either. They just seemed like they were misfit stories, characters, whatever. So if they take more time for these characters to insinuate themselves into Storybrooke and try to learn the lay of the land, make it a very insidious thing, which they really could do, that would free up so much more time for the other characters to get more character development.
There's one thing you're forgetting, though. The Evil Queen is coming, and the Evil Queen is going to be like murdering people. The Evil Queen is not going to lay low.
No.
Evil Queen
That's
doppelganger, I call
the
her.
thing that I had, like, that's, why did they reveal that, what's his name? Is it Jekyll? Who's Jekyll and who's Hyde? I can't even remember anymore.
Glasses is Jekyll.
And who's Hyde?
Okay, Hyde. Okay. I don't know why they had to reveal like Hyde's in town. I'd rather him be hiding in town.
Yes.
And, like when Elsa came to town, she was alone when she came to town and didn't reveal herself to the end of episode 4 or whatever. Or not even then. She was still hiding around, but she was like creating chaos in the town. I'd rather have that than have him like walking downtown and being like, "Hey, I'm here. I brought some chaos." Apparently they're magical friends, like, that we don't see in the town, apparently, either, which is weird. It's like, I brought some friends, and there was nobody in the street. It was like, okay.
It's like, I brought my friends, but there's nobody there.
Yeah, I know. It's like weird. It's like,
I'm
okay.
like, you guys, what do you guys think about Jekyll and Hyde? I mean, the actors.
Oh, they're great. I just
Well, they're
love
great
them.
actors.
I think
But
Hyde especially has an
Yes.
amazing presence.
Thank God
Hyde is
Sam
hot.
Witwer's on the.
Plus the theme, oh my god, the music theme for Hyde, oh, it's so amazing.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
think
okay, I will
I
say
think
one thing.
wait, I'm just trying to finish up here. Apparently, he was asked to play the role. He didn't even audition for it.
Well,
And
of
I
course,
think
because
that
he's
can
Sam
be
Witwer. I
because
mean,
usually I
I'm
hit or miss, but this really worked out, man.
I'm sure, given his CV and the fact that Em and Eddie are huge Star Wars fans, that they are aware of the fact that he does the voice for Darth Maul in the Star Wars animated stuff.
Oh,
And
He
he
does the voice
played
for the Emperor.
Starkiller in the Force Unleashed.
Yeah,
And I don't
so
know, watch a couple episodes of Being
yeah,
Human
because that gets
where
pretty dark.
where he's that dark as a vampire. Trust me, he
Or
has no
Smallville.
problem playing this.
Yeah, or
Like,
oh,
he
Doomsday.
literally played
Yes,
this.
that's where I remember him when he did
He
Doomsday.
literally played this.
Doomsday.
This
Yeah. So
dichotomy on Smallville.
I mean, given his CV, I'm
Yeah.
not surprised they just offered it to him, and I'm so glad they
Yeah,
did.
but I'm sorry. I find Sam Woodward very hot.
Oh
And just
yeah.
right now, don't find Hyde very hot. I don't know. I think it's the sideburns.
Oh my God, Ken Karras with us. Jekyll looks like a. Like, remember, you guys remember Clocksworth, the clock guy when he became human? This guy looks like Clocksworth when he was a teenager. He looks so nerdy, but in a good way.
Well, that's supposed to be.
He looks
He's
kind
a
of cute.
doctor.
In a very adorable, dorkish way. Uh
He's a
huh.
doctor. He's Dr.
So,
Jekyll.
so I'm
Okay.
wondering if these untold stories that he brought to them are the same ones that we saw in the episode where like Three Musketeers, those guys.
And Don Quixote de la Mancha.
I have no clue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sinbad or Aladdin? One of
Which,
them.
I'm sorry, I'm going to say it's highly ironic because Don Quixote has been following me through my entire life, so.
Well,
What
for
Sam
anybody that
said
wasn't
was
able to identify the stories in the book, it was Don Quixote, Gulliver's Travels, Paul Bunyan, and
Water
20,000
Babies.
Leagues Under the Sea,
The
aka
only Nemo.
Captain Nemo.
Yeah.
The
There's
only
also
way.
Water Babies.
The
Charles
only way.
Kingsley.
And Three Musketeers.
Yeah. The
And
only.
Aladdin, and because I saw people dressing
Either
up
Aladdin or
Agrabah-ish.
Sinbad.
I saw it when they were in the market of this realm untold stories. I saw people dressed in typical Agrabah kind of thing,
No,
and
I
that
think
must
it
have
was
been
more
amazing.
an Esmeralda thing.
Yeah, Esmeralda. The only thing that's gonna make this Untold Stories business worth it is if we actually see Babe the Blue Ox.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, that'd be
otherwise,
kind of.
because otherwise, I'm so bored. I'm like, that land did not look that interesting aside from it being steampunk. Like, I
Yeah.
liked it being steampunk.
Steampunk
They're going to
meets
be in
Until the
Storybrooke, so
Forest.
there's no steampunkness in Storybrooke, so this is boring.
I love
Yeah, I know.
steampunk.
That was really
If they're gonna bring in unsatisfied characters that are refugees from their own stories, it's usually the characters who were doing the bad shit that didn't get the ending that they felt they deserved. Because the villains always feel like they're the hero of their own story. So it's usually, more often than not, it's usually the bad guys.
Somehow, I'm getting the feeling that they only supposedly brought in all these people to give Henry something to do with this author nonsense.
Oh,
Oh my
Yep.
god.
you guys know I've been a fan of the Three Musketeers since I was a little girl, and if I just read about one of the Musketeers, and one is called Aramis. You guys know Aramis?
Mm-hmm.
And he just strikes me as a chick version of Regina, like a
Hey,
little
hey,
bit.
hey, 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 hey,
Hello?
hey.
Hello?
What?
No, you do not offend Aramis in that way.
Oh
No,
dear. Oh
no,
dear.
No, and
no,
Are we talking
why?
about
no, no.
ECT, Aramis?
I am taking no personal offense of that. Aramis
Why?
is wonderful. And
You
he's
challenging
caring,
her to a duel?
and he's the most caring and most loyal of the Musketeers, and he's a faithful man, and whenever he fucks up, he's the first one to say, I fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
He slept with the
Okay.
queen.
The sadistic murderer and rapist? Two arms.
No.
Okay.
I'm just saying I am just saying that maybe if I'm not saying now, but maybe a little bit if Aramis meets Regina, maybe
No.
Regina can Aramis can I mean Regina can learn something from Aramis about having good and bad in it.
He doesn't have bad in him.
Oh dear. Okay.
I'm
Okay,
just
next question.
Yeah,
Sorry,
we
open a
Well,
can of worms here, I guess.
we're
I
5 minutes over, people. We got one question left. Anonymous says, question for the next podcast: do you think that season 6 will be the last season of the show, or that it will go on longer than that?
mm,
If they're going by Lost rules, that would be it. But I don't think so. I think they have this idea that they still have so much more to tell. So
yeah.
I'm not too sure about that.
Game of
now
Thrones
that
is having
now that now that they're opening the door to literature characters, I think they can go on for quite a bit now. Like,
But the question is,
do you
Should
think it's
they?
gonna be? Should
they
it be
need
the end of 6?
they need the ratings to hold though.
yeah.
Because if the
Well,
rating,
Look
if
at
the
Game of
rate,
Thrones.
here's the thing.
This
No,
season
here's the
continued.
thing. The show is expensive, and when you get into season 6, season 7, the show is even more expensive, and
Oh.
and actors' contracts are going to start coming up, and so this is all a factor into whether or not we're going to get season 7. I think everybody is signed through 6, but after that, then we have to start worrying. If the ratings don't hold, if people don't want
But
to sign on
well,
to
I could see
stay.
them. Well, here's a question: do you think they'll keep going if some actors pull out?
I don't know.
Not everybody.
Depends on
I'm
the
just
actor.
talking about if they lose, one or two.
It depends on the character.
Yeah, it depends on
Yeah.
who it is.
And it depends on Adam and Eddie.
No.
I
If
Cause
they
mean,
lose,
really,
if they lose Rumple,
please.
do you think it'll still go on?
Yes.
yes.
Yep.
Okay. I think the
think
rest of them would still do it then. So
Rumple's not around that much to begin with, so it's not like we care whether he's there
I
or.
don't think that's the thing with the way they ended that episode, the way they ended the season finale. I don't think he's going to be in a lot of the beginning of 6A because they're going to be focusing on the evil queen, but then they're going to be like, oh yeah, he's still in steampunk area, whatever he's doing with Belle in her box, because they kind of left that open where they could leave that story alone for a while.
Well, he has said that he has some information on some land or some place where Rumpel could go to wake Belle up. So I don't think he's staying in steampunk land. Usually they isolate Robert Carlyle for a few episodes in the beginning because he does movies in the summer or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's
So
not he can't interact with any of the main cast. He's only interacting with himself in that box.
Well, and whoever he runs into on his little box adventure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's usually isolated from the main cast for many of the episodes, so I don't think it's anything different from that. I think the question is going to be how the ratings are going to do the first half of season 6. That is going to determine whether Once Upon a Time we'll get another season or not. I think ABC is in a really critical state right now with these kind of scripted shows.
Mhm.
So I have a feeling that Channing Dungey should be keeping a close watch to see how the ratings go, and then it'll be decided. We can be sure at this point.
I just hope that if Channing does decide that this is the last season, that she gives Adam and Eddie enough notice to actually craft a finale rather than just leave us hanging. Because
Yeah, make it epic.
that's always my fear when shows get to this point where it looks like it might be the last season, it might not be, and they don't know that they don't get
You mean like
enough notice
Castle?
to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, series finale. Okay.
Mm.
I have a feeling with how close knit that this cast is that if one of them is going to choose to leave, regardless of who it might be, that I would think that they're professional enough to give the producers enough of a heads up so that they can, they can craft a write out or however it is that they're going to do it properly. and give them the send off that they deserve.
Well, I think they will do that. It's just the question is, will it be succeed or what not? So yeah, I don't know. I mean, they said they have a plan of where they want to go, but they don't know when the series will end. So they need like a little bit of time to fill up all their plot holes, that they buried in the backyard or whatever.
They're actually gonna fill plot holes. That's funny.
Yeah,
I
right.
don't think
No,
they have enough
apparently they have like
time to film.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I think they'll get another season. Is just
I hope so.
I mean, but I think if they do get season 7, I would be okay with season 7 being the last.
yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
I think 7 will probably be as far as. I mean, Channing already said that they have renewed shows that they have confidence in, and once consistently wins its night, wins its time slot, wins its demographic. It's been like that for 5 years straight, and I don't think that's ever going to change. Once it's too popular of a show, and it's one of the few shows that they have that brings them ratings and money. Most of the shows that they have now, they start them up and then they're not that good, and they disappear. And right now, like what Rams was saying, ABC is in a critical time right now. This is a transition time for them, especially now that they've lost Castle, which is one of their biggest bringers. It's one of their biggest bringers, and they don't have that now anymore because Castle's officially done.
Yeah, I think Once Upon a Time.
They're done with Marvel.
Well, I think Once Upon a Time is not even on their radar right now. They're trying to fill like the slots that they like emptied or whatever like that. But I think
there's only 3 shows that really bring them
money,
regardless of what you might think. There's 3 shows that bring them numbers. Once Upon a Time, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Actually, no. Agents
and
of S.H.I.E.L.D.
How to
doesn't
Get
bring
Away
in
with
any number.
And Switch at Birth too?
Doesn't Grey's Anatomy?
Yeah,
I'm
say
sorry.
Modern Family.
Thank God it's Thursday brings a lot more numbers.
Yeah.
They actually, I mean, they don't care about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and their numbers are in the bottom.
They're not going to compare Sunday nights to like Sunday Night Football or anything like that. That's just not the way they're going to do. So I think they don't want to like replace any other show on Sunday with. I think Once is they feel confident enough with Once being there. But
and as far as I can tell, other than Robert, all the other actors and actresses seem to be committed to seeing this show through. I don't see any of them walking away.
Yeah, but that also depends on, if they're. I mean, at some point they are going to have to renegotiate their contracts and get extensions, and that the money always it's always.
Yeah.
I mean, look how long it took to get Nathan and Stana re-signed for Castle for season 8.
Yeah.
That was an 11th hour thing too.
That's what I'm saying. That there's a lot of factors at play, and not all of them are in Adam and Eddie's control. And if they keep providing a substandard product, then I don't blame people for walking away. Because I watched the show to be entertained, and this season was not entertaining. I was so fucking relieved when the season was over.
I know.
I
have
never felt that way before about the show. I'm always ready for the next season. This time, I'm like, thank God it's over.
No.
That's really disappointing because when we found out that 5D was going to be a Hook center, we were so excited for him to finally get, attention, and it didn't even happen that way. Which is what annoys me with all these people, stop Once Upon a Hook, stop Once Upon a Captain Swan. I'm like, when did it start?
Yeah.
I didn't see it start. Okay. You guys are complaining that you're seeing too much Hook on your screen, but as far as I can tell, it's all Regina.
Which it's not bad.
Okay, yes, guys, let's wrap this up because it's running long.
Yeah.
I still think this season the overall arc was a lot better than Operation Moron Goose.
No.
Yeah,
It was.
100%.
Yes,
Moron Goose.
absolutely.
That's awesome.
Okay. Alright, does anybody have any other thoughts on the finale?
Captain Charming lives.
Captain Swan is together. Nothing's gonna split them apart. And Rumpel needs to go and die and just go away.
I can't lie, I really thought the whole Untold Stories Len made this finale kind of intriguing. And that's why I didn't end up hating it in the end. The Regina and Emma stuff and with Henry in New York could have done without, though.
Yeah, that pretty much killed it.
More adventures for Hook and Snowing. There for that shit. That was great.
Could someone please have Hook talk to Snow for the love of the baby
my
Jesus?
God.
Yeah,
Also,
they had them isolated in another realm, but still they didn't talk.
And also, if you're gonna harass Adam about something on Twitter, ask him if the Captain Charming hug was scripted. This is all I need to know in life.
Or ask Colin at a Comic-Con event. If you're going to a
I'm gonna
Comic-Con
ask a
event.
lot.
So
I can't wait for Comic-Con. It's gonna be awesome.
Okay. So anybody else going once?
No.
Going twice? Alright. Thank you for listening, everyone.
No.
Bye.
Bye.
See you guys again in July.
Enjoy the